Your knees definitely shouldn't be going that high over your feet in reference to the plane your feet are set on. Watch this set with me. It's all going to make sense in a minute. Now, that was one of my clients, Harry, doing that leg press. Now, I say, have you got anything to support what you're saying? So I can have a little bit of a debate and go over why I think you're wrong. Now, he's linked this study and saying letting your knees go past your toes like that increases knee flexion angle. It increases compressive forces at the kneecap, patellofemoral joint, and increases quadriceps demand. However, while it isn't proven to hurt your knees without prior pain and syndromes, it also tends to increase hip flexion, increase the likelihood of the pelvis rolling backward off the pad, and increase lumbar spine flexion if you go too deep. With that amount of weight and over a long enough time will result in lower back pain and injuries. You call yourself a training coach. So although I know he's waffling out of his fucking japsite, I thought I'd give him a little bit of a benefit of the doubt and read the study and see what he's talking about. Here's the study he was banging on about. Optimising backrest geometry to minimise interfacial pressure concentrations in the mid to lumbar region during leg press resistance training. Essentially what they mean is, and what this study's about, is putting something behind the back and assessing the amount of pressure and whereabouts the pressure is placed at certain points of a rep when doing a leg press. This guy's talking about his technique. But this study is referenced is not about technique. It's about the padding on a machine. It's about developing certain pads that are going to be more comfortable to minimise the amount of pressure that's placed on the spine. That's what this study's about. They even admitted in the paper that they've got no awareness of what's going on with the spinal load. They said that. That's in clear black and white, and they've wrote that down in the paper itself. They even mentioned in the conclusion that you can't generalise across all people, so reading it, given the large inter-subject variations, it seems difficult to recommend a one-size-fits-all for the backrest profiles. So his whole point of this is going to hurt you back in the future claim is just made up of assumptions. Even in this study they've mentioned that the data that they've collected is too small of a population and too individual to make much of a significant difference to the actual data itself. This is where these knobheads annoy me. Putting at the end of the message, you call yourself a training coach, whilst quoting studies that don't even necessarily back his claims or point. Look at his legs. Do you think the leg press and the way that he's doing it ain't working? Sometimes you've got to look at the actual evidence and not just what science says, and this study is totally irrelevant to the point you were making in the fucking first place.